shocked to see it on paper from a judge in this federal case saying these grand jury subpoenas, they're not going to survive.
No plausible reason. That's really something. Caitlin, thank you so much for taking us through that. He was said to have golden ears. Aretha Franklin called him the greatest record man of all time.
And next we're going to be joined by Grammy-winning saxophonist Kenny G.
The Big Mama Trucking Across the South. Go ahead and double tap that screen. Welcome to Big Mama Trucking Across the South. Double tap.
Oh, Pearsonville. Population 17.
Pearsonville. Population 17 people. They all at the stove. Donnie McGee, what are you doing? I ain't gonna ask if you double tap. I know you did.
Finals have that rhythm you've been looking for. A steady tempo of the biggest shows, an endless flow of hit movies, and the TV moments that match your vibe. From your favorite throwbacks to hottest movies, the best of black entertainment all comes together here. With all the channels like MTV, VH1, TLC, BET, OWN, TV1, ETV, and so much more, their lineup hits just right. Plus, over 80,000 movies and shows are available to stream anytime, anywhere. And with the unlimited DVR, you can record your favorites, rewatch them for a whole year, and skip the ads. Because the good stuff is always worth the replay. Best of all, plans start at just $25 a month. So turn up the volume on your streaming experience and come find your rhythm right here on Philo. Sign up at philo.tv today to start your 7-day free trial. That's PHILO.TV. Philo.tv.
Summer's here, and Black Rifle Coffee Company is bringing the fuel to keep up with it. While lots of brands are suddenly discovering patriotism during America's 250th birthday, BRCC has proudly celebrated America, the military, the flag, and the people who defend this country since day one. That's not a seasonal campaign for them. It's who they are.
All right, get ready to ride. Me and Big Mama is under the weather. We were up in rain the other day, now we're in heat. So
That's what happens when you go from heat to rain and wind back to
just trying to feel better. About to go home in a couple days. Well, supposed to be going home today.
No fake patriotism, just cold brew, made by people who still believe America's worth celebrating every single year. Find Black Rifle Cold Brew in just black or vanilla now at Walmart or your local grocery store, Black Rifle Coffee Shop, or online at blackriflecoffee.com. Veteran funded, American boosted. This is America's coffee.
Start at just $10 a month. Bigger plan, lock in your rate, and that's the number you'll seal your bill every month. You know it.
Oh, it's all good. Big Mama birthday on the 24th. I'm just trying to get her to feel better by then.
Not just one. Pick the network that actually works where you live and where you work. Try one, and if you like it, keep it. If not, switch to another. Never be stuck with a single network again. Plus, keep your phone, keep your number. Red Pocket Mobile, your new ultimate cell carrier.
New customers can switch and save 50%. Choose from all 3 major 5G networks with one locked-in low price and no contracts at redpocket.com. Redpocket.com.
Maybe this is YouTube. There's enormous frustration right now with healthcare costs. It is amazing. Healthcare costs for families in the last 20 years have almost tripled, and it just keeps getting worse. All this to say, this is why MediShare is so in demand right now. People are looking for alternatives, and MediShare is proven you can save thousands of dollars a year and actually like it more. Over a million Americans have a lot of healthcare sharing, and MediShare is the gold standard. It's trusted, it works, and helping people save money and have peace of mind now for 30 plus years. It's not some big impersonal thing either. It's a community of people like you helping each other. So yeah, if you're frustrated too, here's your chance to make a refreshing change. You'll notice the difference as soon as you call. They're easy to talk to. You can get a price within 2 minutes. Here is the number. Call 833-39-BIBLE. That's 833-39-BIBLE. 833-39-BIBLE.
Some of the other headlines we're watching this out.
Come on, I'm here already. I said, I know I'm coming.
Declared an emergency as a fire at a cold storage facility shows no signs of stopping nearly a week after it began. The facility is packed with 85 million pounds of frozen food, and the fire department says the sheer size of the building, along with its layout, is largely preventing crews on the ground from accessing it. Instead, they've had to rely on water drops from helicopters, something that is usually considered too unsafe for structural. Officials have not yet revealed the cause.
Shouts out to Margaret. Go ahead and double tap, Margaret.
On pace, reversing a lower court decision. They would have likely required one. Gates' disappearance in 1979 gained national attention after he became one of the first missing children to be featured on milk cartons. Despite the publicity, Gates' body was never found, and his case went cold until 2012 when a former bodega shop worker named Pedro Hernandez confessed to the killing. Hernandez's lawyers say his confession was false and caused by mental illness. His most recent appeal challenged the way the trial judge responded to a question from the jury about Hernandez's confessions.
And the superintendent of the second largest school district in the country has resigned amid an ongoing federal investigation.
And it might have you
Los
get
Angeles
emergency while you're there too. I don't know yet.
On paid leave since February when the FBI served search warrants at his home as well as the district's headquarters. Carvalho has denied any wrongdoing, and federal officials have not revealed the nature of their investigation or accused him of any crime.
Daddy said the only thing that's going to make you feel better is
Today,
talking
the
to you.
music industry is mourning the loss of a legend. Producer Clive Davis, dubbed the man with the golden years, has passed away at the age of 89. Davis helped launch and guide the careers of dozens of music icons.
That's right. That includes Whitney Houston when she was just 19 and became perhaps his most famous discovery. Her powerhouse vocals drew Davis in and can be heard in the remake of the song "I Will Always Love You." The Bodyguard soundtrack it appeared on was produced by Davis with top talents including Janis Joplin, Barry Manilow, Alicia Keys, and saxophone great Kenny G.
So that sucks that you can't be there until later, the dinner. Because if you call off, you're going to get an occurrence. Right, so regardless, you're going to get an occurrence if you ain't there.
Thank you very much, Donna. Yeah, everybody double tap. Everybody got a double tap today.
Oh, no, I'm not mad. It sucks for you, though. But that's okay. I mean, as long as your job's not off at 5:30, go and get you. You guys should be back by like 6:30. Just gotta deal with traffic. It should be okay. Because at first they made it sound that you could take 2 hours off and it wasn't going to cost you, right? What is your PTO days weekend? Oh, okay. Did Keisha ever tell you when her recital was? But they're there until 26, right? So he just spent on time with his kids yesterday? He didn't want to?
about to go to Inland Empire,
Oh, so
San
that's why you guys
Bernardino.
have the kids this week?
Go do a drop, and then we'll be going back to Vegas. Going to Vegas for home time.
Oh, okay. I had, Keisha said you had them from the 19th to the 26th. I was like, well, she's got piano practice on the 25th. Oh, okay.
Yep. My bed been calling me, my pillow been calling me. I just want to get some rest.
Oh, okay. Yeah, but at least we'll be able to see maybe, I guess. We're gonna need a day of rest, so. I mean, I'm gonna try to be intermittently resting, so I can feel better, you know. So I'm hoping that I'll feel better by Wednesday. But I can fake it till I make it at least tomorrow and part of Wednesday. We got up. I took the Advil, told his sinus maybe about a half hour ago, maybe close to an hour. Like I said, my nose ain't running at all. So.
Oh, you're not getting your glasses till next month. Oh, that sucks. What'd you have to do? You had to call them or send them an email or what?
I played with Houston. We would play like these parties, and then eventually it started to get more and more popular, and he brought it to Los Angeles, and then all of a sudden it was everybody needed to be at that party, and yeah, he just knew it. He knew how to bring people together, and you know, you mentioned that party, and that was the last time I saw him was just this last February at his Grammy party, and I waited because I wanted to make sure I saw him, because sometimes, you know, you don't see him at these parties, so I just waited in the red carpet line until Clive showed up so I could give him a hug, and I'm so glad I did.
Yeah, you had a moment there with him. And you mentioned Songbird. The New York Times has a list titled 11 Essential Songs Shepherded by Clive Davis. I like that, thinking of him as kind of this shepherd, this musical shepherd. And your record, Songbird, is
Rest in peace, Clive Davis. He brought out Whitney Houston.
So can you talk a little bit about the song's success, the meaning of it, and then if you wouldn't mind playing us the break.
Yeah, no problem. You know, it was an instrumental that I just wrote back in the old days, in the 80s. You know, I had a little synthesizer like in my studio here, but it wasn't as fancy. And I just played all the little instruments myself, played my sax, and then that was just a song that was on the record. It was on the B-side. Remember, we had albums, A-side, B-side, so it was on the B-side somewhere.
B-side
it
was the
wasn't really
extra shit
taken that
you didn't really
seriously
want to put on the
until
record.
I was on the Johnny Carson show. When I played it on the Johnny Carson show, everybody recognized there was something about that song, and that's when Clive really got behind it, and again, wrote those letters to the radio programmers, and basically created, along with his great promotion team, you know, there was Rick Pasiglia, there was Donnie Heider, and these guys, they really just embraced me and said, look, we're gonna go fly around the country, we're gonna knock on doors, and we're gonna make these guys play this little instrumental that has no business on pop radio. And you know what, they did, and people responded to it, and you know, like I said, I really owe my career to him taking a chance on a sound that, again, had no place. There was no radio outlet for my sound.
Yeah, you can just send it to the email, Donna. Send you one. When she gets her glasses, she will take a picture and send it to her.
Oh, there you go.
Yeah, just send it to the email.
KG, take it away.
That's so pleasant.
3. Sam Burns, just one shot back, finishes at 3 under par. He had a beautiful putt on the 72nd hole that just grazed the right edge, but did not go down. Tom Kim fought all day long on his birthday yesterday to an even par 70 to finish 1 under par. Just those 3 players finish under par. JT Poston shot 3 under on Championship Sunday to get all the way up to a tie for 4th with Keith Mitchell, who became the first player in U.S. Open history to shoot even par all 4 days. He also was the first player, Dennis, to shoot sub 30 and higher than 40 in the same round of 9 holes. What a week it was for Keith Mitchell. Absolutely crazy. And Scotty Scheffler finished with a 1 over par 71 on Sunday to finish even as well. Joaquin Niemann made an 11 after a 2-shot penalty for breach of code of conduct rules, easy for me to say, and still finished at 1 over par and in the top 10, tied for 7th. Amazing week for Joaquin. Tyrrell Hatton, Gary Woodland, and Sam Stevens all were +1 and tied for 7th. That rounds out your top 10. But some amazing things happened this week. I mean, the Joaquin Niemann making an 11 on 1 hole and shooting 1 over pars. That's nuts.
It's incredible. One of the biggest takeaways, too, that I saw from our boy, Monday Q. Did you see that, Carl? 23 players, I believe, that had Monday qualified or, went through the qualified, made the cut. It's pretty impressive. Not to mention a 3rd place and a 4th place finish for 2 guys who qualified and 3 guys at 11 and tied for 11th also did the qualifier. That's crazy.
We'll get to the low amateur a little bit later in the show as well. It was a heck of a fight between those 2 guys, but we're going to get to Sam Burns, the guy that put the most pressure on Wyndham Clark yesterday. Our own Amelia Duran caught up with Sam afterwards.
Sam, you started the day 6 back. You had to play nearly perfect golf to try and win this championship, and you did. You started out that way. You were 4 under through 8 holes. You made a 50-footer on the 8th hole. When did you start to believe that you could win this championship?
I mean, I knew it was going to be tough to overcome to start the day. Wynn was playing incredible golf the last few weeks, and he seemed like he was really in control of his game going into this week, and obviously proved that. And so I knew it was going to take something pretty special, and I felt like if I could get to 5, I would have a pretty good chance. And just difficult in the back 9. I mean, some of those holes was really tough to get the ball close, and when you did, it was tough to hold the putts. But gave myself chances there at the end, and just didn't happen.
It's so hard to win out here on the PGA Tour. It's so hard to win a major. You know that better than anyone. You had a chance to win the last 2 U.S. Opens. What moment?
Just rub it in. You ruined it.
But also, like,
Special patriotic price, just $17.76. So you can declare your independence from pain and take your control. Your $17.76 3-week quick start is ready for you. Visit ReliefFactor.com, ReliefFactor.com, or call 800-4-RELIEF. That's 800-4-RELIEF.
In today's fast-moving job market, staying ahead means keeping your skills sharp. At University of Maryland Global Campus, we help keep your capabilities cutting edge with our skills-based education programs designed to move your career forward. Explore more than 100 degrees and certificates in business, cybersecurity, and more. Get ready to succeed again with our affordable online programs. Classes start soon. Learn more at umgc.edu. Certified to operate in Virginia by Chef.
Rediscover classic rock hidden gems and album cuts you forgot you loved in the Deep Tracks. Dive into Deep Tracks, channel 308 on most radios, and on the SiriusXM app on your phone, computer, Alexa, TV, or wherever you stream.
The opening round of peace talks between the U.S. and Iran have wrapped up for today. Just a short time ago, Vice President J.D. Vance departed from Switzerland after saying the countries have built, quote, a successful foundation. Vance also says that Iran agreed to let nuclear inspectors from the United Nations back into the country.
But Iran is pushing back on those claims. A top Iranian official telling state media that Tehran made no new commitments about nuclear inspections during these talks in Switzerland. So let's talk about this with Dina Stroul. She's a former Deputy Assistant Secretary of Defense for the Middle East. We're also joined by retired Air Force Colonel Cedric Layton, who's a CNN military analyst. All right. This is the crux of it, the nuclear issue here, and Vance saying that this is a major milestone that they are going to admit the IAEA in for nuclear inspections in. I mean, how are you looking at this and kind of the mixed messages coming from Iran and the U.S.?
Well, I think one of the dangers here, Brianna, is the fact that there are mixed messages. And to me, what this says is we're going back to the status quo ante before the war and before the 12-day war last year. And possibly even the status quo just after the JCPOA. So what we're talking about here is, in essence, we're re-achieving the things that we achieved before, and that becomes a real problem. In essence, we're not plowing new ground, we're plowing old ground in an old field.
Dana, is that your read, that this is essentially, as Vance put it, a major milestone in the direction of where things were about a decade ago?
It's a significant announcement. We have to actually see inspectors get in there. And here's the problem. Since the withdrawal of the United States from the original Iran and nuclear agreement almost a decade ago, we haven't had inspectors there on a permanent basis. So we don't even have a baseline to assess Iran's nuclear program from where it was and where it is now. And then it's all about the details. So are they anywhere, anytime inspections? Can they go anywhere? Can they go to the buried uranium? All of these details remain to be worked out, and what we know are that the Iranians are expert negotiators.
Yeah, certainly. So then what do you make of how Iran is reacting to this? I mean, is part of this just the negotiating in public and, you know, one side wants to tout something as obviously a success, but that's a concession to Iran, so they don't want to kind of get out there. I mean, how are you seeing these mixed messages?
I think the Iranians are experts at complicating the media environment and the information environment. Part of that is about proving to the rest of the regime that survived this war and to their people that they are not surrendering, which is what President Trump claimed from the beginning. And really, in general, with these kinds of high-stakes negotiations, shouting at each other on social media and through public pronouncements is really counterproductive. These need to be private, discreet, and now the details need to be hammered out by technical experts.
Confusing negotiators is the way that J.D. Vance put it as he was departing Switzerland. Colonel, at least 14 ships crossed the Strait of Hormuz today. We're seeing a slight pickup there. Do you imagine that upward trend?
I think for the next few weeks or so, there's an incentive to get those ships out of there. Those ships have been there, for the entire period that we've, been doing this since February or so, right? So when you look at that, you've got a lot of oil that needs to be gotten to market. We also have ship crews that have been basically at sea for all this time and under some pretty dire conditions. They also have to get the oil out. Start production in places, not only Iran, but also in the other Persian Gulf states. For example, Qatar needs to restart its liquefied natural gas production, and they have a massive problem because their major facility in Ras Laffan was destroyed by the Iranians. So you've got all these different factors here, and it's really definitely important that they get the oil and natural gas and other things out of the Persian Gulf. But the problem is going to be what happens next, and if these negotiations stall for us, then we're going to have another problem, and that could exacerbate economic difficulties down the road.
The Vice President talked about there being this mechanism for making sure that the ceasefire holds. The U.S. and Iran have agreed to create a deconfliction cell for Lebanon to ensure a ceasefire there. What would that look like? What are the complicating factors here?
Well, the complicating factors are that we have Israeli forces inside Lebanon and a non-state actor, Hezbollah, backed and armed and trained and funded by Iran, who is continuing to attack Israel. And neither Israel nor Hezbollah nor the sovereign government of Lebanon are anywhere near this negotiation. So what's happened here is that Israel's sovereignty is being treaded upon by this, and the actual stakeholders whose security interests are most at stake here, the Lebanese people, the Lebanese government, and Israel, aren't party to this deconfliction mechanism.
Tina Stroll, Colonel Cedric Layton, appreciate you both. Thanks so much.
Thank you, Boris.
And next, sure, you can have the American dream, but in some cities, you need $1 million to get started on it. We're going to explain.
With the high price of new and used cars today, many drivers are choosing to keep their vehicles a lot longer. But with the average car now over 12 years old, most manufacturers' warranties have expired. I'm Danica Patrick. If your car is out of warranty, a single trip to the mechanic could cost you thousands. That's why smart drivers choose Endurance. If your vehicle is less than 20 years old, no matter the mileage, Endurance could have your car covered for the drivetrain, electrical,
Shouts out to
AC,
Giuseppe
transmission,
Martel,
and
double
more.
tap.
And Endurance is with you every step of the way, from filing a claim to paying the mechanic of your choice directly. And your rate won't go up no matter how many claims you file. Call Endurance now and choose the plan that fits your budget. Act now and get 1 year of elite benefits, a $2,000 value free.
For your best free quote, call 800-298-2007. 800-298-2007. 800-298-2007.
Coverage varies by plan, new contracts, and exclusions at EnduranceWarranty.com.
Hey, Tim, what's wrong?
Somebody brake checked our truck. Their claims chaser attorney thinks his neck needs 50 grand to feel better.
And?
Now I have to go to court, negotiate with insurance.
No, wait, Tim. We have Samsara now. Dual-facing AI dash cams give us clear video, and instant retrieval means we can pull footage fast before they change the story.
So instead of ruining my quarter,
You just send the footage to legal.
Visit samsara.com/today to reduce risk and stop false claims with clear evidence.
is life insurance still on your list from earlier
Shouts out
this
to
year?
Taz 2767, double tap.
A buddy told me that securing life insurance sooner rather than later can help you lock in lower rates for years to come. So I added this to my list this year and got it done. I called SelectQuote and was shocked at how easy and affordable life insurance is. I'm 40 and got a $500,000 policy for $18 a month. My wife's also 40 and her $5,000 policy was only $16 a month. Plus, with SelectQuote's same-day coverage, no medical exam was required, and we were covered by the time we hung up. Checking this off my list felt great, but the peace of mind knowing my family is protected feels even better.
Call SelectQuote at 1-800-242-3311 for your free quote today. That's 1.
Shouts out to Bill. I'm not going to say the other part. 2518, double tap.
That's 1-800.
Gulf Coast, Florida, 86 degrees.
Details on the sample rate at SelectQuote.com.
Attention, My Patriot Supply is offering a huge discount on their best-selling My Patriot Supply because they're the original preparedness company for real American patriots. And right now you can get their best-selling 3-month emergency food supply for $100 off the regular price. My Patriot Supply almost never offers a deal like this. To get your emergency food supply with a huge $100 discount, go to MyPatriotSupply.com. That's MyPatriotSupply.com. Wesley Financial Group is not a law firm.
Ask yourself this question. Is it really worth holding on to that timeshare that you know you need to get rid of? Here's the truth. The average maintenance fee just went up over 17%. That could have been 117%, and there's nothing you can do about it. When you buy a timeshare, you give them a blank check for annual maintenance and assessment fees. I'm McDowell, founder of Wesley Financial Group. For 15 years, I've helped over 50,000 families cancel their timeshare. Not sell it, not transfer it, cancel it. Did you buy a timeshare because they told you it was a great investment and your maintenance fees would never go up? That's a lie. Are you ready to get rid of your timeshare once and for all? Simply call us and I'll send you our timeshare exit kit that explains all your options for cancellation.
7:44. Weeknights at 8 Eastern on CNN.
Thanks for joining us. Yet more new developments.
It's Anderson Cooper 360, Sirius XM 116.
Buying a starter home is becoming a $1 million dream for Americans. A new Zillow report finds a record 242 cities across 26 states where typical entry-level homes now cost at least $1 million. That is about 3 times more than before the pandemic. California is still topping the list for sky-high prices, but the biggest recent surge is actually in the Northeast, where a shortage of new homes is driving costs even higher. Joining me now is Aaron Luchistegui, a real estate expert and host of Real Estate Rockstars, the podcast. Aaron, thanks so much for being with us. That is a lot of money. There's just something about that number. Does this fundamentally change the meaning of what a starter home is?
Hi there, I'm glad I'm here. Thanks for having me on. You know, I read the report and I think there's a couple challenges with it. And the reality is starter homes aren't what they used to be. You know, it used to be when someone wanted to buy
Shouts out to Seal Thorpe 6810. Double tap.
desirable locations, they can build that equity over time. The thing that isn't fair about this report is these are like the most desirable homes in the U.S. And so it's more of like a supply and demand problem and a buyer expectation problem that's really spiking that.
Okay, so explain that to us. Like, are people still having those starter homes that are smaller and in less desirable places?
Well, I think people in general they want larger houses. You know, when you try to look at where people could be looking instead, like some of the example cities, they're like Rollingwood, which is a city right near Austin, Texas. The 2,000 square foot home there is a $1.3 million house. But if you go just 20 miles south, you can get a 2,000 square foot house for about $350,000. So it's the location specifically in this report is just a place where there isn't enough supply, there isn't any room to build more houses. And so in New York City, in LA, in these really highly desirable cities, there isn't really a price for affordable starter homes in those locations.
Okay, so if people are looking, if they want to get into that market and they want to get a starter home, it's so important, right? Is they're trying to maybe build their worth and make their money do something for themselves. What should they be doing when they are staring down numbers like this?
Yeah, the numbers are wild, and in a lot of sense you get what you pay for, right? Like a lot of these like high expensive areas are in the heart of these major metropolitan areas that have a really, really high demand. And if people can just go further outside the cities, 15 miles, 20 miles, 30 miles, then they have these commutes. And so they're trying to decide between, do I want to get a larger home for a lot less money, but I have to commute 30, 40 minutes to work every day, or do I get into the heart of those areas? And even the heart of some of those areas, I think the average homeowners just don't have an ability to own in New York City, in these certain neighborhoods of Boston. But it's not that they're completely tapped out of the market in general. There's a lot of different options that are close by, and I think that's where people really need to focus. Although some may just end up renting.
Okay, so what does this do to people who live in these homes already? What are you seeing them? What are you seeing them do? Are they hanging on to these homes that have this great value? What are they doing?
Yeah, this is a much deeper issue at this point about what's happening in the housing market in general. Over the last 4 or 5 years, we had this major boom in most metropolitan areas. We had interest rates that were at all-time lows. And so there's plenty of people that have these homes and they want to move. They would be willing to sell that home, but they don't know where they would move to. If they sell $1 million home today and their payment is maybe $4,000 or $5,000 a month, and they buy another $1 million home, their payment is automatically going to be $8,000 or $9,000 a month. So there are a lot of people are moving over the last few years. Real estate has kind of been at a standstill. Prices, stuff is still transacting. People are still buying and selling homes. Prices have come down quite a bit in just the last few years, but they haven't come down at the same level that interest rates have gone up to offset those things.
So what would you say to people who are trying just to get into real estate and have that American dream? Would you say to them, you may just have to rent? Would you say to them, look at a condo? Would you say to them, look at a condo somewhere before you're getting a house and you have that need to expand? How would you be telling someone if they're looking at wanting to be in real estate at some point in their life to be thinking about this through their 20s into their 30s?
Yeah, especially in the 20s and the 30s. I think it really is lower the expectation, find the thing that has the value so you can get in. The first home that I ever bought and moved into was a foreclosure. I got it for a big discount, but then I had to fix it up and make it mine. At the end of the day, I paid a lot less than I would have if I would have bought it normally. But I had to bring my expectation level down that if I wanted to be in that neighborhood for that price, I couldn't get one of the really nice ones yet or the really more expensive ones. People should look at what they can afford based on their income, based on current rates, and that will determine how much they can pay and where they can go. And sometimes that's going to be a condo in the downtown area so they don't have to commute. Sometimes it's going to be 15, 20 minutes away. It could be an older home where they can do a little fix-up over time. So there are lots of options, but it all starts with figuring out what they can afford based on their current income and then seeing what's available.
Yeah, it's pretty basic, but that's what you have to do if you're getting in. on this tough market. Aaron Amuchastegui, thank you so much for being with us.
Sure. Thanks so much for having me.
Next, is it sabotage or is it something else? Pool expert, Swimming Pool Steve, back on CNN News Central as we analyze the number of issues that are plaguing the reflecting pool.
Summer is here. And the good vibrations are in full swing on the Beach Boys. Sunset songs for a limited time, filled with harmonies. And the stories behind them. Good Vibrations, the Beach Boys channel. Arrives tomorrow on the Sirius XM app.
Do you owe back taxes or have unfiled tax returns? The IRS won't quit until they get your money. Here's great news, fresh from those in the know. Major changes have happened at the IRS. If you owe more than $10,000, you may be eligible for a 99% reduction of what you owe. Haven't filed a return for a while? Their happy clients are talking.
The IRS was going to levy my bank account, but Guardian was able to prevent that and fix all my IRS issues. Thanks again, Guardian Tax.
Need relief from crushing tax debt? The IRS now has special programs. Guardian Tax knows all about them, personal or business. This is the fresh new break you've been hoping for.
We aren't the company you call when you need a hug because you're scared of the IRS. Guardian Tax is the company that wins when you need it most.
Guardian Tax Service is really great to work with. They've really helped me out. I'd recommend them highly.
Call now for a free confidential consultation. 800-505-1652. 800-505-1652. 800-505-1652.
Gail Daughtry's perfect small-town life comes crashing down when her fiancé takes his celebrity pass, literally, and has sex with Now, Gail must make good on her own celebrity pass. Find and have sex with John Hamm. Zoe Deutsch is Gail Daughtry in a new film that will shatter everything you thought you knew about a woman running all over Hollywood trying to John Hamm. Gail Daughtry and the Celebrity Sex Pass. Only in theaters July 10th.
I'm John Hamm, and I approve this message.
Hi, I'm Brad Ball, founder of Buy So Wealth, one of the fastest growing wealth firms in the country. Did you know I manage your existing 401k, which could increase returns by 3% or more per year? That could mean hundreds of thousands of dollars to you. See what your 401k has been missing at PowerMy401k.com or call 833-PowerMy401k today. Buy So Wealth is an SEC registered investment advisor. 3% average based on Aon Hewitt study. See PowerMy401k.com for more information. My dad passed away unexpectedly at a stroke at 63. Of course, it was awful in every way, but we are very grateful that he had life insurance. So even after he was gone, he was still able to provide for us. And now I have a wife and 4 little kids, and that's why I have life insurance for my family. Ethos is the best place to go to make it fast and easy to get covered. It's 100% online. There's no complicated process at all. There's no medical exam. Just a couple of health questions. You get a quote in seconds. You comply in minutes. You get covered the same day. You get up to $3 million in coverage. And some policies are as low as $30 a month. And in 10 minutes, your family can be covered with life insurance. When it happens, your family's going to be very grateful. You went to ethos.com.
Get your free quote at ethos.com/rate. That's ethos.com/rate. Ethos.com/rate. Paid spokesperson. Time spent on application may vary. Online health questions required. Rates may vary. Sample rate 10-year lifetime policy for 40-year-old.
Shouts out to the Truth, J-Dub. He said he's in Tennessee and it's hot.
City water is full of
I said, say your city and the temperature. He said, Tennessee and it's hot.
Our whole house system delivers filtered water from every tap, even your showers. For over 40 years, we've proudly built every system right here in the USA. It's our summer sale. Save up to $1,000 when we pay your sales tax. Hurry, offer ends July 4th. Call our factory at 1-800-WATER-99 or visit LifeSourceWater.com.
Warranty limitations apply. At Swish Funding, we fund small businesses like yours from $25,000 up to $2 million with cash in your account in less than 24 hours. If you've been in business for at least 1 year with monthly revenue of $50,000, you can unlock financing with rates as low as 8% and flexible payment terms tailored to your business needs. Apply today at swishfunding.com. That's SWISH funding.com.
Summer is officially here, and so is extreme heat. The National Weather Service now warning of temperatures at the Grand Canyon being 110 degrees or more. Visitors are strongly advised against taking midday hikes after 3 heat-related deaths. Meantime, the Midwest is reeling from deadly tornadoes. A huge twister that was captured on camera yesterday, spinning around Dix, Illinois, was caught on film by neighbors. This was the aftermath of a separate twister in Gibson County, Indiana. Officials there have confirmed at least 3 storm-related deaths. Let's get more on the forecast now with CNN meteorologist Allison Chenchar. So where are these storms headed, Allison?
Yeah, there's more of them. This is not over just yet. Now, we hope we don't end up seeing images like this out of southern Illinois. You can see that large wedge tornado there in the background, but this was one of several tornadoes across 4 hours that we were able to see. Again, Illinois really kind of being the focal point of some of these tornadoes. This is video here. You can kind of see the intense winds where it really drops that visibility to the point where you can't see anything. Again, due to the very heavy rain, numerous tornado reports across this state. And it wasn't just tornadoes. We also had reports of very large hail. You're talking the size of tennis balls.
Shouts out to Blue Dandelion 80. Go ahead and double tap that screen.
Represents a storm report of some kind over the last 24 hours, and we're likely going to add more dots to that map as we go through the rest of the day today. You've got a cluster of showers across portions of the northeast, but the focal point really is down across the southeast. This is where we've had a lot of those severe thunderstorm warnings off and on throughout the day, and they're likely going to continue through the afternoon and evening hours.
Allison Chenchar, thank you so much for the update. A new hour of CNN News Central starts right now.
Nuclear options. Vice President J.D. Vance says Iran has agreed to allow nuclear monitors into the country, but Tehran denies making any new commitments. We'll have the latest on negotiations. Gloom and bloom. The reflecting pool turning into a monumental mess for the White House. And now the administration is trying to figure out how to fix it. And want to get away? With discount airlines like Spirit grounded, more Americans are hitting the road and leaving the driving to Greyhound. We're following these major development stories and many more, all coming in right here to CNN News Central. Vice President J.D. Vance is making his way back to the U.S. after leading the first round of peace talks with Iran in Switzerland. Right after negotiations wrapped, Vance touted the fact that Iran agreed to allow nuclear inspectors back into the country, but in the memorandum of understanding, that issue was effectively already agreed to. Still, Vance offered this message right before he left.
Whether good faith or bad faith, you can't trust anybody's words. You have to trust what they actually do. Letting in the inspectors is a big deal, but again, we're to see what they actually let the inspectors do once they're in the country. That's going to continually be a part of our negotiation. So my point is not that I trust or distrust anybody. My point is that I trust actions.
CNN's Kristen Holmes is live for us at the White House with the latest. Kristen?
Yeah, I mean, there's a lot going on here, especially given the fact that we're in the 60-day countdown on these negotiations, and it seems like there's still a lot of very thorny issues that are going to have to be worked through. That Vance made about these inspectors coming in, but as you noted, this is alluded to in the memorandum of understanding, and we still don't have any details. What sites are they going to observe? What kind of access are they going to get? One of the things to keep in mind here is that, yes, the Iranians had cut off all access to these UN inspectors after the United States bombed their nuclear facilities.
Yeah, you don't want to come to the desert in the summertime. It's hot out here.
This was part of that as well. These UN inspectors coming in and observing those nuclear sites. Now, President Trump said this on Truth Social about it. He said, everybody is fully aware that Iran will agree to have major weapons inspections in order to ensure nuclear honesty long into the future. Again, we still don't know exactly what this is going to look like. Some of the other things that we now have coming out of these negotiations are the fact that Iran and the U.S. Are going to form a new committee on nuclear for sanctions talks. We've also learned, this again from the Iranian foreign minister, that oil sanctions have begun to be waived and those frozen assets released. J.D. Vance had talked about this kind of a concept that Jared Kushner had come up with that comes to those frozen assets, talking about how They're going to only be released in some sort of form of humanitarian aid and purchasing things from the United States to give back to the people of Iran. That's still going to raise a lot of questions for people, specifically around if they are getting various funds for humanitarian aid. Does that mean that they're going to free up other funds for potentially to give to their proxies, to give to these various terrorist organizations? So what exactly does that look like, and how is the United States going to monitor it? Now, the other thing we heard from J.D. Vance was a pretty stern denial that President Trump's threats over the weekend did not at any point threaten to derail the talks with Iran. Take a listen to what he said.
What we told the Iranians yesterday is when you guys engage in what us millennials might call trash talk, you can't expect the President of the United States not to respond and not to correct the record. So when they say things that aren't true, the President is going to respond to it.
And we know President Trump is always going to respond. He is not one to sit back and just let things be floating around out there. We also heard from Vance talking about how it was confusing to be negotiating with the Iranians at various points. And he also encouraged people not to listen to what was coming out of Iranian state media, saying that, of course, they have their own politics at play that they're trying to get out there as well.
All right, Kristen Holmes, live for us at the White House. Thank you, Boris.
Now to some new exclusive CNN reporting on how the Trump administration is planning to use Homeland Security funding to force states and local governments to change how they conduct elections. We spoke to multiple sources and obtained documents that show how the president is threatening to withhold tens of millions of dollars in grants from states that ignore the new guidelines. It's his latest push to root out alleged voter fraud, despite data that show it's rare and not quite the problem he claims it is. CNN's Gabe Cohen has more on this exclusive reporting. Gabe, walk us through what this funding is and what the administration is planning to do with it.
Yeah, so what these new rules, Boris, are actually impacting are these large grant programs at the Department of Homeland Security that just this year are expected to distribute about $1 billion to cities and states across the country to help them prepare for terror attacks, cybersecurity incidents, major disasters. And what the administration is doing is saying, if you want all of that money, you are going to have to implement these mandatory election changes. And states that don't comply are going to end up losing 20% of that grant funding, which in many cases could mean millions of dollars lost for these jurisdictions that consider this money critical to keeping the American people safe. Let's go through the list of what exactly the administration is asking them to do as part of these election reforms. They want states, first off, to transition away from certain electronic voting systems, the ones that use QR codes, barcodes, and instead move toward hand-marked paper ballots. It's something this administration and Trump allies have been talking about for a long time. They want states to conduct these manual election audits, but specifically, they want them to use methods that are established by the administration, by the Secretary of the Department of Homeland Security.
Said Blue Dandelion 80 said, does the heat affect how the semi runs?
Not a lot, because I can just put my AC on full blast, but even on full blast, it can cool off a little bit before it gets cool again. So, I mean, it still runs like a champ, but the AC just kind of, like right now I have it on the coldest one. After about 15 minutes, it'll drop down to, it's blue now, but it'll go to green. And so I just got to push it again so I get the cooler air going. That's the only difference.
There you have it. Anybody else got any questions? Let us know. Double tap the screen. Shouts out to Tim Clark 6252. Never listen to the news because it's always bad news.
Yeah, you can expect once this does go through the states, which we expect those guidelines to go out later this month, it is going to be very quickly challenged. And we've seen conditions on federal funding that the administration has tried to put in place over the past 18 months. A lot of it's been challenged. A lot of it has been blocked by courts. So you can expect there is going to be that attempt to block it. We don't know what they're going to be able to get through here. But I will tell you, DHS, when I asked them for comment on this, they said it's not finalized. They don't want to comment on the specific guidelines we're talking about. But they did say any recipients of federal funding should expect accountability for how taxpayer dollars are spent, which just gives you a sense of what their mindset is here, that this is a leverage point where they can say, look, if you want federal funding from our administration, you are going to have to implement our administration.
Damage it, blaming vandals for its problems, despite a lack of evidence that he's provided the public. A senior administration official says that 5 people have been arrested for vandalism, some of them also cited. One of the suspects, Olympian David Hearn, told CNN that he merely touched the peeling material in the bottom of the pool. He says he didn't remove, break, tear, peel, rip, or destroy anything. Law enforcement officers were seen standing by the attraction on DC's National Mall this weekend. The government has spent more than $14 million renovating the reflecting pool for America's upcoming 250th birthday celebrations. The president says the 300,000 square foot pool, I should say, will have to be drained for further repairs. Let's discuss with pool and expert Stephen Goodale. He's on YouTube.
The reflecting
Steve,
pool
thanks
that's
so much
in
for
front
being
of the
with us.
Washington Monument. The problem with the reflecting pool is something that they've been dealing with for years. Obama tried to do it as well. The problem is that you replace and you repair the reflecting pool, but you don't repair or replace the pipes that go into the reflecting pool. So you can renovate the reflecting pool all you want to, but if you don't remove that piping
or replace it,
either replace it or, you know what I'm saying, fix it in different parts or whatever, all that oxidation goes into the pool. And with the humidity and the bugs that are out there, it's going to grow into algae.
The green water situation is probably just going to be backburned now as we deal with the more immediate remediations, and then perhaps we could look at in the future seeing the system start back up again, hopefully this time without the green algae bloom that we saw last time.
Efforts have been taken now to try to mitigate the algae problem, including dumping gallons of hydrogen peroxide into the reflecting pool. I saw an image on social media over the weekend. It was kind of sad, and honestly, CNN has not been able to verify whether it's real or not, but it showed an animal that seemed to be deceased in the water. We don't know if the cause had anything to do with what's been done to mitigate the algae, but could that chemical that's being put in the pool have an effect on wildlife?
It would really come down to a matter of concentration, and again, we're talking about 6.5 million gallons of water or more, so it would take an awful lot of product to get to dangerous levels of contamination here. It's why hydrogen peroxide would be commonly used for an open air, clear water environment like this, because it is kind of the safer of the options. It's why we don't use something like chlorine, which wouldn't be as safe for the wildlife, and I'm very sorry to hear about the duck. I did hear about this as well.
Yeah, again, we don't know what the cause was, but people were speculating, and so it's important to get context about the capacity of hydrogen peroxide to be harmful. There's also this blue material that's at the bottom of the pool, still unclear whether it's paint or sealant. Let's say we were going to ask whether there was subterfuge afoot. If theoretically someone wanted to damage the pool, how difficult would it be to tear up that bottom?
In my experience, and when I heard that it had been vandalized as well, my reaction was surprise, as I really tried to understand the mechanism of damage that would cause this kind of vandalism, and certainly done in a stealthy kind of way, no power tools assuming, because this is a robust, strong, puncture-proof material. That's why it was likely chosen for this application. That's why it's used in commercial and industrial applications. So it would take absolutely a concerted effort. I don't know exactly what it would take, but it would take a concerted effort to cause significant damage like that.
Is it something that can be done like very discreetly at night, or would it be obvious to people and cameras that are around this national monument? Would it easily be noticeable?
I can only speculate, but it seems to me that it would be noticeable.
July 4th.
The scale of this project makes this so challenging, and I really just don't have enough of a bead on how many workers are out there with how many pumps running to get this thing empty so that they can expose the problem areas and make the repairs. And unfortunately, from what I understand, working with products similar to this one that's been used for the reflecting pool, it is something that you can go in, you can remove some of the delaminated or damaged material, and then make what you could essentially describe it as a patch, which should have a reasonable likelihood of success.
Stephen Goodale, very much appreciate the expertise. Thanks for joining us.
Thank you.
Of course. So stop if you've heard this before, and if you're British, you've definitely heard this before. The UK has a brand new Prime Minister, the 6th in 7 years. What happened to Keir Starmer when we come back?
6 Prime Ministers.
Truck drivers, don't miss out on the unmatched consistency of a Schneider driving job. With our industry-leading selection of driving options, you'll find a job with the freight, home time, and schedule you've been looking for. Plus, Schneider drivers operate state-of-the-art, well-maintained equipment and have access to award-winning benefits and a 24/7 support team. Don't wait. Find a job that offers the stability you need to fuel your career. Search jobs and apply today at SchneiderJobs.com. That's SchneiderJobs.com.
If dry, itchy ears are driving you crazy, listen up. From headphones, earbuds, or hearing aids, to dry weather, allergies, or eczema, irritation can strike anytime. Highland's Dry Ear Relief Oil delivers fast, soothing relief for itchy, dry, flaky skin. Its natural blend of premium oils helps moisturize and calm irritation right at the source. Just 1 to 2 drops to feel the difference. Highland's Dry Ear Relief Oil. Fast, gentle, effective. Available at Walmart and CVS.
Hi, I'm Brad Ball, founder of Bison Wealth, one of the fastest growing wealth firms in the country. Did you know Bison can manage your existing 401k, which could increase returns by 3% or more per year? That could mean hundreds of thousands of dollars to you. See what your 401k has been missing at powermy401k.com or call 833-POWER-MY-401k today.
Bison Wealth is an SEC registered investment advisor. 3% average based on Aon Hewitt study. See PowerMy401k.com for more information.
Hi, I'm Sherry, owner of Life Source Water. Your tap water isn't as clean as you think. City water is full of contaminants, including chlorine and microplastics. At Life Source, we believe your water should support your family's health. Our whole house system delivers filtered water from every tap, even your showers. For over 40 years, we've proudly built every system right here in the USA. It's our summer sale. Save up to $1,000 when we pay your sales tax. Hurry, offer ends July 4th. Call our factory at 1-800-WATER-99 or visit lifesourcewater.com.
Warranty limitations apply. If tonight your lion is asleep or perhaps not in the jungle at all, there is a roaring solution. ED or lack of bedroom performance is a common condition. ED often results from having poor blood flow due to age, stress, or medical conditions. Boston Medical Group Telemedicine's simple and effective solution is ICP, also known as ED shots. It's custom formulated for you to restore healthy blood flow where it's needed most. Achieve full and lasting erectile response in just a few minutes. Our telemedicine brings this virtually 100% effective solution to your doorstep. You can restore your raw confidence. Our summertime special. New patients receive 10 extra doses of ICP medication when signing up for the standard program. Call 800-940-2900, 800-940-2900, that's 800-940-2900, or visit bostonmedicalgroup.com.
ZipRecruiter is the place. ZipRecruiter is the place for talented teachers, savvy software developers, and master mixologists. ZipRecruiter is the place where you meet all these people and more. That's because ZipRecruiter is the place for job seekers who are looking for new opportunities. In fact, ZipRecruiter helps 10 million people with their job search every day, so you can find the right candidates right away. It's no wonder that ZipRecruiter is the place for skilled skydiving instructors, accomplished airbrush artists, and proficient pediatricians. But if you're not using ZipRecruiter to hire, you're missing out. ZipRecruiter is the place that's so confident it can make your hiring easier that it lets you try it for free at ZipRecruiter.com/news. So if you want the right candidates for all your roles, ZipRecruiter is the place to go. Try it for free at ZipRecruiter.com/news. That's ZipRecruiter.com/news. Never miss out on great candidates with ZipRecruiter.
Did you know your life insurance is an asset you can sell? I'm Jay Jackson, CEO of Abacus.
Shouts out to Kyle Strawberry.
Abacus has been purchasing life insurance policies.
Rockford, Illinois. What's the temperature out there, Rockford, Illinois?
We've created a free policy value calculator so you can find out the worth of your policy in just seconds. There are no fees and no obligations. Get real value for your life insurance when you need it with Abacus. Learn more at abacuspays.com.
Moving trucks are becoming a pretty common sight at 10 Downing Street.
68 degrees. Oh, you guys got it made in the shade.
Soon, we'll be calling it home, the 6th in 7 years.
Earlier today, Joe Starr announced he is calling it quits, leaving the post up in the air. One possible replacement was a mayor up until Friday. CNN's Claire Sebastian joins us now from 10 Downing Street. Claire, this kind of turnover A bit wild to witness. What is the reaction in the UK?
Yeah, we have become rather used to seeing that podium arrive outside 10 Downing Street over the last decade or so. Before that, I have to point out the UK was able to hold on to prime ministers, but there's been a lot of churn in the decade since the vote to leave the European Union, the Brexit vote, which was 10 years ago this week. For Keir Starmer, this was a dramatic fall from grace, though. It's less than 2 years since he was elected. He came in on a gigantic landslide, one of the biggest parliamentary majorities in modern British political history, the first Labour government in 14 years, and it ended up today with a very tearful speech.
Fantastic day, nice and cool out there, huh?
Having to make. He tried to hang on until the last minute, but the
Wish we could be in
party
Illinois right
just
now.
got
It's
too
68
much. Now
degrees.
we're going to have a transition. They really hope Downing Street and those who are potential contenders hope it will be orderly. Take a listen to how the Prime Minister laid it out.
I will remain in post as Prime Minister until the contest is complete. And I will do everything I can to ensure an orderly handover of power. I will also give my successor my full and unequivocal support, knowing that they will inherit a Britain that is far stronger and fairer than the one I inherited 2 years ago, better prepared for the challenges ahead, and better able to ensure the Labour Party secures a second term in office.
So, a contest, he says, at this point we don't know if there will be a contest. Right now, the one person who has thrown their hat in the ring for a leadership race is the former Mayor of Manchester, Andy Burnham, who was sworn in this afternoon as a Member of Parliament. That is a prerequisite to run in the leadership race according to Labour rules. So he is being brought back to Parliament by a special election last week. As of now, and just
Old school truck driver bull holler.
if someone
Yeah, y'all be flying past us going about 70.
if they don't, we could see Burnham in Downing Street by the middle of July. Wow, and of course, Claire, the person, or I should say, I mean, he's kind of a person. Most concerned about all of this, I think, might be Larry the cat, right? Because he, at this point, has now seen so many prime ministers. We all love.
That's hitting you in the pocket yet?
Under his watch, he is sort of steadfast there at 10 Downing Street. He must be wondering whether it's Burnham or another Labour leader. Is this next PM going to actually be able to hang on to the position? Yeah, I mean, certainly Larry was looking a little elderly when we saw him this morning. He came out Downing Street before the Prime Minister's speech. Look, that is the question. We've seen so much churn.
That old 92 Kenworth W900. Shouts out to all the KW fans, all the K-Dubs.
Up in the northwest of England. And he said this is the last chance for our party. We have to prove that we are going to change. I think, look, he is promising sort of non-specific change at this point, similarly to what we got from Keir Starmer 2 years ago. But Burnham is a different character, and perhaps he will have the powers of persuasion to win over the voters where Keir Starmer didn't. But at this point, A, he's not Prime Minister yet, and B, we just don't know how it's going to go down.
We'll see whether he can win over Larry. We'll find out. Claire Sebastian at 10 Downing Street. Thank you so much. Still ahead, Iran now pushing back after Vice President J.D. Vance claimed a, quote, major milestone in peace talks. More on that next.
Mechanical motor.
Why settle for a 7 a.m. tea time when you want it 8? Or an iced coffee when you ask for hot? Or a corporate card that gives you pennies in rewards when you could be saving thousands? Ramp is the only corporate card built to help companies spend less, not more. That's not coincidence.
It's got your feet all over that.
And it works without slowing
right by the
down.
AC so everybody can smell it.
Real-time visibility into
That's
every
great.
transaction. Out-of-policy spend blocked before it clears. Duplicate SaaS tools for unused seats flagged before they waste your budget. Ramp automates the guardrails so you can stop chasing receipts and start driving strategy. Over 40,000 companies already run on Ramp, including CBRE and Shopify. They're not just logos, they're teams reclaiming time, cutting costs, and closing the books without overtime. Because with Ramp, the less you touch your expense system, the better it works.
On the
Right
deck.
now, your business can get $250 off at ramp.com/SXM. That's ramp.com/SXM.
Smell like hot karate up in there.
Credit card interest rates are now
Smell
over
like hot
29%.
Smell like hot karate up in there.
Minimum payments, so they're getting
Oh, she got her toes
Here's what
painted.
most homeowners don't realize. Using the equity in your home, you could easily access hundreds of thousands of dollars in cash. With Loan Pronto's rapid equity loan, you can pay off your credit cards, your existing HELOC, your car
Still
loans,
feed
or
all
get
under
that
that.
money for that home
Right on the
improvement
AC
project.
vent.
One client just got $100,000 approved and saved over $1,500 a month. And here's the best part. With Loan Pronto, you can do it all from your phone. With zero out-of-pocket, no hard critical upfront, no appraisal, no long drawn-out bank process, and no touching your first mortgage. Listen, rates are at a near 3-year low. Act now. Go to loanpronto.com. See how much you can get in about 60 seconds.
Oh yeah, old school motor. Ain't nothing wrong with it.
Call 855-2PRONTO or visit loanpronto.com. 855-2PRONTO, loanpronto.com.
Equal housing lender, NMLS 1661781, NMLSconsumeraccess.org. It was really gross.
The itching was totally unbearable. I wasn't comfortable going to the beach or the pool because of it.
Fungal infections like jock itch, athlete's foot, ringworm, and tinea are a nightmare, especially during the summer months. The itching, the embarrassment, the frustration when the fungus comes back. Most creams only do half the job, giving temporary relief. But the Terracell fungal treatment system provides fast, complete relief. Only Terracell combines the clinically proven antifungal clotrimazole with natural ingredients and patented activated minerals to fight infection while soothing itch and burning. Terracell penetrates deeper than other creams, killing fungus at the root, and it's the only dual-action system, soap plus ointment, that helps stop fungus from coming back.
Terracell finally solved the problem.
Nothing got rid of my fungus like Terracell.
Now I can finally enjoy summer fun without being self-conscious. Thank you, Terracell.
Ask for Terracell at your local Walgreens or CVS, or search Terracell on Amazon. That's Terrasil.
Every business owner knows a missed call is missed money. Simple as that. And look, I was missing a lot of
Good old fruit stand.
calls, texts coming in at all hours. It never stops, right? Things were slipping, and I knew people were moving on. That changed when I found Quo. There's a reason it's the #1 business phone system. It just works. My favorite part? The automated text response. Someone calls, leaves a voicemail, shoots me a text. Quo fires back immediately in my voice with a message I actually wrote. It sounds like me, not a robot me. No more missed connections. Plans start at $15 a month. I spend more than that on streaming services I barely use. $15 to actually run your business better. That's a no-brainer. Money is on the line. Always say hello with Quo. And now you can try Quo for free at quo.com/CNN. That's quo.com/CNN to try Quo for free. QUO.com/CNN. Results may vary, are not guaranteed. Restrictions and eligibility requirements apply. Text and data rates may apply. Is alcohol affecting your work, health, and relationships? At Choose Your Horizon, we offer a simple, private way to access FDA-approved medication, a daily pill that is proven to reduce alcohol cravings. 86% of patients report drinking less or quitting in just 12 weeks. Find freedom from alcohol with Choose Your Horizon. To get your free same-day doctor consultation, text NEWS to 54504. Again, text NEWS to 54504. Text NEWS to 54504.
Vice President J.D. Vance is on his way back to Washington after wrapping up the opening round of peace talks with Iran for the day. As Vance departed Switzerland, he struck a positive tone about the negotiations, saying the two countries laid a good foundation. But Iran is pushing back on his claims that it agreed to let nuclear inspectors back into the country. A top Iranian official telling state media Tehran made no new commitments about nuclear inspections during the talks in Switzerland. During these talks, the U.S. also agreed to temporarily lift sanctions on Iranian oil. Let's talk about this now with New Jersey Democratic Congressman Josh Gottheimer. He is a member of the House Intelligence Committee. Congressman, thanks for being with us. You said a few days ago that you were dumbfounded by this agreement. Did you hear anything from the Vice President this morning that would change your assessment?
No, in fact, it just seems like we're giving away more in the store by officially lifting sanctions and allowing Iran to sell their oil. Of course, this regime will sell their oil, will buy most of it to China, one of our top adversaries. So, I know the Vice President said they made progress. Clearly, the Iranians immediately dismissed any perceptions of progress when it comes to inspectors. So where we are right now is we've given them a lot. We are lifting sanctions. We're talking about giving them billions of dollars, hundreds of billions of dollars to rebuild. Obviously, they're opening up the straits, but that seems to be changing by the hours. You saw probably.
Shout out to Richard Vaughn. Go ahead and double tap.
And of course, the straits were open when we started this conflict. But one of our top adversaries, the Iranian regime, was killed Americans, attacked our bases, and obviously it's been clear that they do not support our freedom or democracy over decades of going after our families and our military. They still seem to have nuclear intact, the ballistic missile program intact, the drone program intact, of course, their terror financing program intact, and what appears to be some more money to support terrorists who force kill Americans.
Do you think they are agreeing to let inspectors back in, though? I mean, you're hearing Iran deny new commitments, but you have the vice president saying that's in place. And I certainly hear that you don't agree with the way the administration has gotten to this point, but this is the point we're at. I mean, do you think that the inspectors are not going to be allowed in?
Hell no. That's the Gilligan's Island, but no canopy, no motor in the back. You got paddles, ain't no motor in there.
Just start about. Nice in the back.
A ton of respect for truck drivers. Thank you very much. Need you to go ahead and double tap the screen.
With Hezbollah and Iranian proxy. What could the U.S. be doing to serve American interests, but not be, as you say, selling out Israel?
Well, we're selling out. I think what I said was selling out that very important ally of the United States in the fight against terror. And to come back, that second part in the fight against terror is very important when it comes to America's national security. Remember that Hezbollah is a terrorist organization attached by the United States. Not just our key allies. And what's happened now is Hezbollah has been continuing to
in them next on Lead Sports Series XM Fantasy Sports Radio.
The 2026 NBA Draft could transform the league.
This NBA draft is incredibly deep. Definitely the deepest in my mind since 2017.
For every franchise-shaping decision on Sirius XM. Listen to NBA Radio for interviews with the top prospects and analysis throughout the league.
This is where your GM makes his money.
Then, tomorrow and Wednesday night at 83rd. Hear every selection of the NBA Draft on Channel 86 in the car and on the Sirius XM app.
Get closer to the world's biggest sporting event with Sirius XM FC 157.
These are the nights that people dream of.
Expert analysis from World Cup veterans.
This is going to be one of the games that we'll talk about for years.
Bold opinions.
There's no doubt in my mind that England can win the World Cup.
And passionate supporters.
This kind of stuff means everything to me.
Your destination for soccer talk throughout the tournament is Sirius XM FC 157 in the car and on the Sirius XM app.
At University of Maryland Global Campus, we give our students credit where credit is due. Credit for deciding in the middle of rush hour traffic to go back and get their bachelor's and a promotion. Credit for managing 3 kids, 2 dogs, and a full-time job to pursue an MBA. And credit for serving in the military by day so they can study cybersecurity at night. For over 75 years, we've been helping students receive the credit they deserve. With more than 100 degrees and certificates, students at UMGC can use prior learning or relevant experience to earn up to 90 credits toward a bachelor's, and graduate students can transfer up to 12 credits toward their master's. At UMGC, you'll find everything: online and hybrid courses, lifetime career services to scholarship opportunities, making your education journey flexible, fast, and affordable. Classes start soon. Learn more at umgc.edu. That's umgc.edu. Certified to operate in Virginia by SHAP.
These statements have not been evaluated by the Food and Drug Administration. This product is not intended to diagnose, treat, cure, or prevent any disease.
Do you have a history of those dreadful calcium oxalate stones? Well, Kidney Cop is here to help. Shown in laboratory testing to reduce the rate of calcium oxalate crystal growth by 99%. Yes, 99%. Don't wait. Start taking Kidney Cop Calcium Oxalate Protector today. That's Kidney Cop, C-O-P. Kidney Cop. Order today at Amazon.com, Walmart.com, or KidneyCop.com. That's Amazon, Walmart, or KidneyCop.com.
This is Howard Bender. Join me, Andrew Cooper, and the GM Jim Bone weekdays at 6 Eastern for the Fantasy Alarm Show right here on Fantasy Sports Radio.
Conan here. Whether you're stuck in the car on a long road trip or lounging by the pool this summer, Conan O'Brien Radio Channel 104 has got you covered.
Give it to the Google partner with the most impactful
They're pulling even more shows. Andy Richter. It is not great. The music industry is mourning the loss of a legend. Producer Clive Davis has passed away at the age of 94. Of course, Davis helped launch and guide the careers of dozens of music icons, including Whitney Houston, when she was just 19 and became perhaps his most famous discovery. Her powerhouse vocals drew Davis in and can be heard in a remake of the song I Will Always Love You. Of course, the Bodyguard soundtrack that it appeared on was produced by Davis and
You can listen to that. Well, Davis worked across musical genres with top talents including Janis Joplin, Barry Manilow, Alicia Keys, and saxophone great Kenny G. And we spoke to Kenny G last hour as he recalled how Davis and his team took a chance on him after he performed on The Tonight Show with Johnny Carson.
They really just embraced me and said, look, we're gonna fly around the country, we're gonna knock on doors, and we're gonna make these guys play this little instrumental that has no business on pop radio. And you know what? They did, and people responded to it. And you know, like I said, I really owe my career to him taking a chance on a sound that, again, had no place. There was no radio outlet for my sound. He just made that happen.
CNN's Elizabeth Wagmeister has a look at Davis's life and legacy.
I like music, but I was just a fan. I mean, this was totally by accident that I got into this field.
Janis Joplin, Aretha Franklin, Whitney Houston, The Grateful Dead, Bruce Springsteen, Santana, and the list goes on. Clive Davis, known as the man with the golden ears, either discovered them or helped catapult them into music superstardom.
My parents died when I was a late teenager. I had no money to rise above the station. I studied law to become a lawyer. The fates were good, luck was in my way, and the firm that I went to work for represented Columbia Records. I became their general counsel for 5 years, and then overnight, I was made head of the company.
His knack for finding talent was almost immediately evident.
I sensed a revolution was in the works. I realized instinctively that this was a time that I had to trust and go with my instinct because the stereo revolution was over and music was changing, and I had to, it was going to be up to me, in effect, to move this company forward. And I think within the next 2 years, from the signing of Janis Joplin and Donovan and Blood, Sweat and Tears and Santana and then Chicago, and they all hit one after another, and I was there making that judgment, and I saw them all come through, and obviously gave me confidence to keep going. For me, it's just a natural gift, if you will, that I never knew I had. There's no metrics, there's no study. It's just both a combination of common sense, trusting your ear, and your instinct. How special is this?
Janis Joplin was one of his first discoveries.
There, I had a connection with Joplin, whether it was trust, whether it was integrity. We had an instant connection.
And not only did Davis find all the right artists, he also found them the right songs.
Regarding Whitney, I was there when her career began. I discovered her when she was 19, and we embarked on this odyssey, breaking every record in the record book.
Davis was born in Brooklyn, New York in 1932. In a career spanning more than 50 years, he won 4 Grammy Awards, a Grammy Trustee Award, and was inducted into the Rock and Roll Hall of Fame in 2000.
And if you're a survivor, and in show business, whether you're an artist or as an executive, you've got to be a survivor, and you've got to rise above cold periods, you've got to come back.
Davis married twice and had 4 children. In 2013, he released a memoir called The Soundtrack of My Life. In it, he revealed that he was bisexual.
It wasn't that I was bisexual when I was married. This is something that only occurred after my second marriage failed. So for the first time, having failed in marriage twice, not related at all to sex, I opened myself up to the possibility of having a relationship with a person rather than a gender.
And though his golden years were legend, he said recognizing opportunity was the real secret to his success.
I was really in the right place at the right time. It was luck. I'm not being modest. It was luck that I got that opportunity. I think life is seizing those opportunities.
Our thanks to Elizabeth Weidmeister for that look at the life of Clive Davis. Still ahead, history has been made. Argentina superstar Lionel Messi just became the World Cup's all-time leading goal scorer. Is he the greatest of all time? We'll discuss next.
Conan here. Whether you're stuck in the car on a long road trip or lounging by the pool this summer, Conan O'Brien Radio Channel 104 has got you covered. Each week.
Anything out of his area?
Negative. I was gonna give you a soft drink.
Oh, okay. So I can go in there and go to the bathroom. And then if you want to get a soft drink, maybe we can look for some Sudafed. Maybe they have some.
See some Sudafed. I'll be seeing a lot of different cold medicines up there.
I don't need cold medicine. I need sinus medicine.
any of those, right?
Right.
I like the late nights and shit.
Yeah.
About why?
The problem is we can't sleep too long because if we do, the problem is if we stop it. Yeah, I don't know what we're gonna do.
Stand by your head.
Well, yeah, because I canceled our appointment, so we don't technically have to be in town until like 10. Right, because I canceled our physical therapy appointments, and my nail appointment is at 11 o'clock. So technically, we don't really have to be home. I'd rather be home at 9:30. That way, it gives us time to put everything aside to keep. So what would have to happen is Kiana's gonna have to stay home with the kids, and we're gonna have to drop off Hotlink and then come and get us from the truck. We'll go home, we'll quickly shower, and you can drop me in China off at our nail appointment.
Then I could possibly go to Lowe's and get stuff I need for the pigeon thing I'm talking about.
Right. But I'm still gonna also try to get to work tomorrow to see if I can find us a bed.
I'll see if Jermaine can come up. I just don't know how much you're gonna charge us. If I can do the front one by myself, because that's the one that's dropping all the poop on the front porch. Maybe I can later on I can have him help me with the back. You know what I mean?
Well, let's see, because remember before he said he could just get up there with you and help you.
Yeah. Like I said, I don't know how much you're gonna charge us.
Right. I'm hoping if you don't say nothing.
If I can do it myself, we can do it. We won't have to come out of the pocket for nothing.
Right.
But I'll assess it. I'll get all the stuff and try to get it up on the roof and clean it. And then if I need help, I'll call it.
Yeah, I would suggest trying to power wash it first.
Yeah, I'm gonna have my power. I got a hose long enough so I can bring my power washer up on the roof. You know what I'm saying? And there's some type of cleaning solution. I got a list in my notes, everything I need to do to the solar panel.
Oh, okay.
So with the cleaning solution, I just pour inside the power washer.
Right, and when you get ready to do that, or when we get home, I want to put that Dawn in the driveway and see if it'll help. You know, like when you climb up there, before you climb up there, spray the Dawn on there.
Yeah.
And then let it sit, and then go ahead and see if it'll come up, because it should break that grease up.
Don't come out in the street. Don't do it. Crazy.
Oh, we got it on the other side. So we do have a little bit of leeway. Like, I'm gonna find out from Kiana if she can stay home from school tomorrow, so that the kids can be there. You know what I'm saying? Because we can't leave the kids home by themselves. And there's no way we're gonna be able to fit all of us and all of our stuff in the Jeep. So Kiana's gonna have to stay home tomorrow. Now she went to school today, and technically she can go to school tomorrow or Thursday.
Oh, so tomorrow you mean talking about to take you to get your nails done?
Right. Because if
What if I stay home?
if we're home in time for that.
Oh.
Holly has to be to work. They leave the house like 8:30. They drop off Kiana, then they go drop off Holly. By the time she drops off Holly off by 9:30. By the time she gets to us, it's going to be 10 o'clock. You know what I'm saying? So she would have to drop Holly off at 9 to get to our truck by 9:30, so that we can get home in enough time so that I can quickly shower, change, get dressed, and then go get my nails done. Now, if Boo-Boo's going to go and drop them off, and we're not, now if we get home early enough, then yeah, you can stay at home with the kids while Boo-Boo takes Hotlink to work and drops off Kiana. That's going to be the whole determination. I don't know what time we're going to get home. 5, and we get out of there by 9, right? It's an hour and a half drive from there to Barstow. That puts us parked by 10:30. 7 hours from there on a split sleeper berth puts us up at 6:30 in the morning. And we can get up at 6:30 in the morning. We just won't make it home till 9 o'clock. But at least all of our stuff, and we'll have a parking spot that we need. So just like I said, just early in. Because if we get out of here early, then we can possibly go ahead and still drive to Barstow and shut it down. Do 7, 8 hours, whatever the case may be, then get home early enough to where holiday. Get up in the morning. If we don't have at least 30 minutes on our clock by the time we get up in the morning, then guess what? We're going to be perched up the base that both will go right to work. That's what we're going to do. Find out exactly what time my appointment is. I think my appointment is at 1 o'clock on Thursday, if I'm not mistaken. I gotta call them and find out. Once we get parked. Didn't we set that procedure for 1:30? Or 1 o'clock or something?
Hopefully that'll release some weather.
I'm hoping so.
What are they gonna be doing?
I'm assuming my lower neck and my back, both of which I've had killings with. So. And my hair will be cut, so it won't be heavy. Cut it maybe just right below my shoulders. I don't know. That's probably as short as I go. But if she's going to be layering it, I took a couple of screenshots of some layers that I want her to do in the back, so it gives a little bit more fullness, because when it's flat iron, it looks super thin. So I want her to give it a little bit more body. You know what I'm saying? I mean, she can always curl it, and then the curls are going to fall anyway. That'll give a little bit more body, but I was hoping for some layers. Cut the length off of it anyway, so I don't know. I'm gonna see what she did. gone for a month anyway. Because when we come back down, it's going right back up the road. Right back up the road.
Get your hair done this time. I mean, braided.
No, after I get it done, no, I'm just gonna, because it'll be freshly cut, it'll be freshly washed. You know what I'm saying? So I can wear it down.
Yeah.
I have hair ties, so I'll be able to put it in ponytails or whatever the case may be. But when we go back home in July, we'll put back the braids. Those, and I like not having to worry about having my hair in the morning. I like it a lot. And then I'll balance the checkbook and see how much money we have left. I've paid quite a few bills this time, so that we didn't have a whole lot of bills come next week. Like we have to do the money orders, that's a given, and the water bill. Everything else I pretty much took care of. The groceries, we know we have that anyway, and the gas, but everything else I pretty much took care of, so. So I can't wait till we get home tomorrow so I can show you what I got you.
Yeah.
Oh, I'm super excited about it.
Super excited about my thing. Oh, I need to track my thing if I got you. Should have been that mother.
All you have to do is log on to Amazon and let you look at orders and let you know what arrived and when it arrived. And I gotta make sure I pay attention when I get on my birthday, because if I don't get my bras or my pants or my tank top, well, I'm getting my tank top, so if I don't get my bras or my pants, I'll be ordering those. But instead of me ordering 3, maybe I can order 1, but I do need another bra for sure.
Oh, that is dirty. Awesome. Yep. Dirty as shit.
Dirty, that's a fucking one.
Brand new nice drink like this. Dirty.
They got let them know we're still sick. Our physical therapy appointment. And then drop you off, drop Holly off, and Keon to the BSB, and then come back and get you.
That's a possibility.
We're not going to come if we're super sick and spread our germ all over the therapy, you know?
All we gotta do is tell them we're sick, they ain't gonna want us in there anyway.
Right.
We drop loads all the way up north, Oregon, weather's changing.
And we haven't been sick since we started doing physical therapy in February, so February and March. It's now, you know, so. Yes, that's what I'll do. On Wednesday or on Tuesday. Wednesday I'll call and let them know that we're still not feeling well. And that way I can drive and take the kids and stay at home. I can drop off Holly and Kiana and then come back and get you. You should be done by then. And especially since my appointment's not going to be until like 1 o'clock anyway. So. Technically, we changed the appointment to 10:40, so we very well may have to come communication in and out of here before 10:40. Your only other chance to do it would be drop you off my hair appointment at 9. And say my birthday. You have to drop me off, drop the kids off. Okay, that might be too close. Alright, we'll just shoot for Thursday. Because they're closed on Fridays.
That extra rest did me some good.
Oh, the extra rest yesterday? because the fountain drink is free and the pizza is free, you can get that. Like I said, I'm gonna go in there and go to the bathroom. There won't be nothing for me to grab the Sudafed and my fuel and your drink with these all at the same time. That way you have plenty of time. They give you 10 minutes to take a walk. Then you can meet me back in the truck. Yeah.
Might already be back at the truck when you get back.
Maybe. You want pepperoni or meatloaf? Oh, they might have a Supreme.
Supreme or meatloaf.
Okay.
Last option would be pepperoni.
Gotcha. How about that barbecue chicken pizza?
I ain't ready for that. So gross on so many levels. Barbecue sauce and tomato sauce do not go together.
Well, I'm assuming there is no tomato sauce. It's just barbecue sauce because the base for tomato sauce and barbecue sauce is tomato sauce. Or the base for marinara sauce. Marinara is making tomatoes and barbecue sauce. So I'm assuming they put barbecue sauce, cheese, and chicken on the pizza. So it should taste like a barbecue chicken sandwich maybe. Oh, that's funny.
What is it? Oh, it's a warehouse?
Some type of warehouse, yeah.
Yeah, they be dropping these Tesla batteries all over the place. Elon, what are your batteries again? Oh, breaking news. See what Elon Musk needs to answer 4.5 million kids sentenced to death for deals over those cuts. All kind of arguments. What?
USAID was responsible for vaccinations to those third world countries. Closed down that department. Kevin Trump from the department. Longer getting the vaccines that they needed, including the vaccines to fight Ebola.
So all the kids died.
Yep.
That's
Between malnutrition, not getting the vaccinations that they needed. That's right, because you got the that virus that broke out, fucking the strand of Ebola that had broke out in fucking the Dominican Republic of Congo.
Oh yeah, I remember that.
They have a couple of them here in the state, meaning when they started vaccinating people, measles and Ebola was nowhere around. Now they have all that shit. I think it is Ebola. Did they say it was Ebola?
Yeah. Remember they had that one lady quarantined. They had that one lady quarantined. She was wanting to leave.
Right.
There go my Camaro.
All right. Turn off the AC. That shit's getting hot. Start feeling the stop and go. Turn that motherfucker off. I know it's hot. You got to turn that motherfucker off so you don't try to relax.
Yeah, you go up there, the air is nice in that air till shit break down.
Right.
All the truck drivers out there, make sure y'all turn off y'all AC going up these hills. You're gonna be stranded, stuck like Chuck, no mini truck.
Man.
Googled it, trying to get out of bed. I realized my body was starving for nutrients. I needed a way to get real energy back. So I created Happy Viking. This is a complete meal replacement built on the 30-10 rule. That's 30 grams of plant-based protein for strength and energy, and 10 grams of fiber for total gut health. And it keeps you full longer. It's hypoallergenic, vegan, and packed with over 100 superfoods and nutrients. It's creamy like a milkshake. It feels like a cheat meal that actually fuels you. If you are tired of being tired, go to drinkhappyviking.com, use code FUEL, and save 20% when you subscribe today. That's drinkhappyviking.com, code FUEL.
Patrick was way behind on his IRS taxes.
I was in way over my head, just over $30,000. That's when I reached out to Optima Tax Relief.
And how'd it go?
I couldn't believe it. I had to ask like 2 or 3 times. I saved an incredible amount of money.
How does Patrick feel about Optima?
Couldn't be happier. Optima Tax Relief. They're the best in the business.
Call Optima Tax Relief for a free consultation. Call 800-613-8836. 800-613-8836. Optima Tax Relief. For details, visit OptimaTaxRelief.com.
Today, it's all about controlling costs. As your business grows, you need technology that scales and doesn't cost you an arm and a leg. To manage expenses, growing businesses are moving to a company they can trust. Acumatica. Acumatica is the world's fastest growing cloud business solution, delivering unparalleled functionality with the highest satisfaction scores in the industry. And businesses trust Acumatica. You shouldn't have to worry about dramatic and unexpected price increases. Acumatica is committed to transparent and fair pricing without locking you in to long-term commitments. We are also the only ERP vendor to offer unlimited user licensing, so you don't get charged more for your growth and adding employees. Graduate from your basic software and take your business to the next level. Over 10,000 companies have already made the move and have graduated to Acumatica. Achieve your growth ambitions and save money today by going to acumatica.com/offers. Acumatica, building the future of business together.
Tires matter. They're the only part of your vehicle that touches the road, and they're responsible for so much. Acceleration, braking, steering, and handling. Tread confidently with new tires from Tire Rack. Whether you're looking for expert recommendations or know exactly what you want, Tire Rack makes it easy. You'll get fast, free shipping, free road hazard protection, and convenient installation options. Try mobile installation. They'll bring your new tires to your home or office and install them on site. And Tire Rack has the best selection of tires from world-class brands. And they don't just sell tires, they test them on the road and on their test track. Learn how the tires you want tackle evasive maneuvers, drive and stop in the rain, or just handle your everyday commute. Go to TireRack.com to see their tire test results, tire ratings, and consumer reviews. And be sure to check out all the current special offers. That's TireRack.com. TireRack.com, the way tire buying should be.
Breaking news, a federal judge says that the Justice Department's subpoena of Minnesota Governor Tim Walz and other Democratic officials in the state are unconstitutional. The judge accusing the Trump administration of using the grand jury process to harass its political opponents. More on this is coming from CNN's crime and justice correspondent, Caitlin Polans. So Caitlin, some very strong language from this judge in his ruling that kind of takes us back to earlier in the year when there was all this conflict between Minnesota and the federal government.
Abby, it's sort of been a sleeper case. It was one that was under seal until this judge made this opinion public today. And the reason that the judge wants this out there is that he sees abuse of the grand jury by the Justice Department. Taking us back to the winter of last year, December of 2020, it was Operation Metro Surge. Thousands of ICE, immigration, Homeland Security agents were sent into the Twin Cities and into Minnesota. At the time, the governor, Tim Walz, the mayor of Minneapolis, Jacob Fry, and others, they were very vocally opposed to this surge. It was also a sanctuary city, Minneapolis, at very least. And so the Justice Department and the Trump administration, they were in outright war vocally against these local officials. And then at the end of this January, there were subpoenas that were issued to offices of the Democratic officials in Minnesota, in Minneapolis, in St. Paul, subpoenaing them for a wide range of documents saying they were going to be under federal criminal investigation for potentially standing in the way of the law enforcement surge. That's when things went under the radar in court. It went under seal. These officials challenged those subpoenas. And now the judge has ruled, this is Judge Patrick Schultz, he's a Republican appointee from the Bush administration, and he is writing that the public has a strong interest in this because this is learning of the abuse of the grand jury process by the Department of Justice. He says that the subpoenas that went to all of these officials are blatantly and overwhelmingly unlawful, that what they were doing were trying to harass and coerce the officials on the ground there to fall in line with the administration. He points to Donald Trump saying that there was a day of reckoning coming, that there would be retribution these people would face, and then they got those grand jury subpoenas in January. Now those subpoenas are no longer valid. The judge is throwing them out.
So, Caitlin, what are some of the things that the DOJ did that led to a ruling with such strong words, and as you point out, from a Republican-appointed judge?
Yeah, Abby, one of the things we're seeing here is that this judge is looking very specifically at what was happening publicly in politics, and even says that this campaign of retaliation that the Justice Department was using these subpoenas as part of, that this was part of the well-established use of criminal investigations to retaliate or hurt Donald Trump's personal or political adversaries. That's language in this opinion. Some of what specifically happened here was that the Attorney General Pam Bondi sent a letter to Tim Walz saying that she needed Minnesota to repeal sanctuary city policies and also stand behind the ICE officials there. Those subpoenas had come just days before, and so that all came together here. Abby?
All right, Caitlin Polans, thank you very much for all that reporting, and thank you very much to my panel for this hour. Thank you for joining us today. The lead, anchored by Anderson Cooper, starts right now.
Secretary of State Marco Rubio just minutes away from an overseas trip to talk about Iran. The lead starts right now. After direct talks with Iran, Vice President J.D. Vance is headed home. Secretary Rubio will now head to the region, what he hopes to accomplish after conflicting reports about what the vice president got done. Plus, peeling paint, algae blooms, and now President Trump claims there are pictures of the so-called vandals who created the mess of the newly renovated, quickly deteriorating reflecting pool. And World Cup history. See the remarkable moment for fans when Lionel Messi broke the all-time tournament scoring record and solidified his standing as one of the greatest ever played the game. And welcome to the lead. I'm Anderson Cooper, and for Jake Tapper, we start with breaking news in our world lead. Just moments ago, President Donald Trump struck an optimistic tone on the ongoing negotiations to formally end the war with Iran, while leaving room for consequences should things go south.
If Iran doesn't live up to their agreement, or if they're not behaving, I will do what I have to do.
This follows Vice President J.D. Vance today touting a, quote, very, very good weekend of negotiations in Switzerland. And at any moment now, Secretary of State Rubio set to head to the Middle East. The State Department says Rubio will travel to the United Arab Emirates, Kuwait, and Bahrain, countries repeatedly attacked by Iran during the war and even the ceasefire. So far, Rubio has remained, as you know, largely silent on these negotiations and the administration's memo of understanding with Iran. The U.S. claims that Iran has just agreed to allow nuclear monitors into the country, which Vice President Vance calls a major milestone. President Trump posted on Truth Social, quote, everybody is fully aware that Iran will agree to have major weapons inspections in order to ensure nuclear honesty long into the future. But an Iranian foreign ministry spokesperson is pushing back that claim, essentially saying nothing to nuclear inspections will change. Vance also said some progress has been made to end the fighting between Israel and Hezbollah in southern Lebanon.
We laid a very good foundation for a successful final deal.
Double check, but I know I did. Worried that President Trump was ready to burn down the metaphorical house. In a phone call with Fox yesterday, Trump said the U.S. might take over. Those were his phrase. This rate of moves if the deal can't be reached, and says he told Iranian officials, quote, you close it and you won't have a country. Vance today responded to Trump's comments on the negotiations. And the Washington State is the top Democrat on the Armed Services Recently, you said that the U.S.-Iran memo of understanding shows the Iran war was a colossal mistake, in your words. Are you at all encouraged by anything you've heard coming out of these latest negotiations so far, and have you been briefed on this memorandum of understanding?
No, I'm encouraged by the fact that they're trying to find an end to the war. I do think that's the smart choice. I mean, doubling, tripling down on the mistake that the war was would be even more catastrophic. And basically, I mean, Trump assumed that a 4 to 5 week bombing campaign would fundamentally break the Iranian regime and would force them to capitulate on all of our demands. Instead, Iran put the region at risk, attacked, 6, 7, 8 different countries around them, shut down the Strait of Hormuz, and now we're negotiating to get the Strait of Hormuz back open, which of course it was open before the war began. But criticism getting into the war aside, the decision to try and stop it and negotiate a settlement on the terms and in the situation we are in, I think it's the right call. Now we'll see how that negotiation plays out. But continuing this war and sort of doubling down on that colossal mistake would have been even worse.
And just moments ago, President Trump talked about another part of the negotiations with Iran in terms of the unfreezing of some Iranian assets. I want to play that.
And one of the things that we are doing also, and it came up last night, is money that's being unfrozen is going to be used to buy food, and the food's going to be bought exclusively through the United States from our farmers. And corn, soybeans, all of the things they need are going to be bought from our farmers. So our farmers are very happy. I've had a lot of calls that were very happy about this.
What do you make of that?
Well, first of all, I'd be really surprised if that part of it was true, that it's going to be bought exclusively from our farms. I cannot imagine that they would set up a situation where that would be the case. Iran buys a variety of different products when they can from a variety of different places. So I'm pretty sure Trump is making that part up. And the other thing is this is exactly what he criticized Obama for doing, was freeing up Iranian assets in exchange for them stopping their nuclear program. And those, freeing up Iranian assets so they could then buy humanitarian assistance. That's exactly what the JCPOA did. So Trump's Obama derangement syndrome made him tear up the JCPOA. Now we're just right back where we were before, but we fought an incredibly costly war in the meantime. So now, I mean, we'll see. I mean, maybe they wind up having to buy all of it from American farmers, but I'm fairly confident President Trump is making that up at this point.
Also, I want to play for our viewers something that Vice President Vance said this afternoon when asked about Iran allowing nuclear inspectors into the country.
You can't trust anybody's words. You have to trust what they actually do. Letting in the inspectors is a big deal, but again, we're going to see what they actually let the inspectors do once they're in the country. That's going to continually be a part of our negotiation. So my point is not that I trust or distrust anybody. My point is that I trust actions. And what the president has asked us to do is verify what they're doing, focus less on what they're saying.
I mean, obviously, the thing about that is, one, the JCPOA hadn't allowed and did have actual inspectors on the ground, and Iran has already pushed back on the U.S. claim that they will now allow nuclear inspectors back into the country. What do you think is happening here?
Well, I mean, that's what we need. That's what has to happen. You have to have neutral inspectors to make sure that Iran is obeying whatever it is that they agree to. Another strength of JCPOA is it had exactly that. And those inspectors were allowed in. And Iran was 100% compliant with the agreement at the time that Donald Trump tore it up. So I'm glad that J.D. Vance is vaguely aware of the fact that inspectors are important here, but he should be more specifically aware of it, and he should make sure that it is part of it. Any agreement. Now, do we have the leverage at this point?
Let's see what we
I have no doubts, but certainly would be a critical part in continuing Iran's nuclear program. Mark Rubio is heading to the Middle East to meet with Iranian allies. Unlike Vice President, he is remarkably silent on memory.
the Strategic Petroleum Reserve is how we usually draw down oil when there is an emergency, and when, there's a good amount of oil in there. We're at the top at 750 million barrels. Today, we're at 340 million barrels, and the operational floor for that is 150. Problem with that is the Trump administration already committed to getting this number down to 245. So hurricane, or if this war continues, we're in trouble.
We're talking about emergency oil. What about the oil we're using today?
Well, right. I mean, so we don't use emergency oil on a day-to-day basis. This is just commercial oil that's available. This is in Cushing, Oklahoma. This is the pipeline cross lines of the country. 20 million is the number of barrels in their reserves right now. That's around here. Imagine a spigot of a coffee urn, and when you push it, nothing comes out. That's my nightmare. That's what's going on right now in Cushing. And if they get below that, then you can't force oil throughout the rest of the country. There's two ways to solve that. You drive prices higher, or you stop exporting oil. Neither one seems like it's happening.
I should switch to green tea and all that. My stated because I'm not sure what sources tell CNN about financial pressure from the administration on U.S. states and how they run state elections. We'll have exclusive reporting of that. Plus, first, the big primary coming up tomorrow here in New York, how name, influence, and big money. They were all candidates vying to become the face of the cabinet. Congress.
Hey, it's me, Sebastian Maniscalco. If you're fed up or confused as I am, tune into the Sebastian Maniscalco Show. Every week, me and my longtime friend Pete Corielli get into it. Catch brand new episodes premiering every Tuesday with replays throughout the week on my exclusive Sirius XM station, Sebastian Maniscalco's Comedy Radio. What channel do you ask? And on the Sirius XM app. Those in the area are not guaranteed. Restrictions and eligibility requirements apply. Text data rates may apply. Is alcohol bringing you down? If you think your drinking is the problem, it may just be the tip of the iceberg. Underneath is stress, trauma, burnout. And it keeps resurfacing even if you're able to claw your way through a dry month. Choose Your Horizon offers an easy private path to change. Online care designed by a Mayo Clinic trained psychiatrist and used by thousands of patients nationwide. You get a same-day doctor consultation, plus FDA-approved medication that works by reducing the desire to consume alcohol and is delivered discreetly to your door. Plus, one-on-one coaching options so that you're not doing this alone. Choose Your Horizon. No rehab, no judgment, just results. 65% of patients see real improvement in as little as 2 weeks, improving their health, their relationships, and their careers. Whether you're looking to cut back or quit, start today and get a free doctor consultation. Text the word CHANGE to 54504. Text CHANGE to 54504. Text CHANGE to 54504.
Attention taxpayers. Do you owe 10, 50, or even hundreds of thousands in back taxes to the IRS? Taking action now could save you thousands of dollars, stop all collections, and resolve your tax problem for good with current IRS tax relief initiatives designed to aid struggling taxpayers. You may be eligible to have your tax debt significantly reduced and possibly even eliminated. With over 1,000 5-star reviews and an A+ with the Better Business Bureau, Tax Relief Advocates is urgently notifying taxpayers that major tax relief is here. If you owe the IRS $10,000 or more, and possibly facing wage garnishments, liens, levies, or IRS letters, don't lose hope. Checking your eligibility for this tax relief is fast and easy. Simply visit TRA.com. That's TRA.com. Or call 800-575-3018. 800-575-3018. Once again, that's 800-575-3018. Hey, Tim, what's wrong?
Somebody brake checked our truck. Their claims chaser attorney thinks his neck needs $50,000 to feel better.
And?
Now I have to go to court, negotiate with insurance.
No way, Tim. We have Samsara now. Dual-facing AI dash cams give us clear video, and instant retrieval means we can pull footage fast before they change the story.
So instead of ruining my quarter,
you just send the footage to legal.
Visit samsara.com/today to reduce risk and stop false claims with clear evidence.
My dad passed away unexpectedly. Of course, it was awful in every way, but we are very grateful that he had life insurance. So even after he was gone, he was still able to provide for us. And that's why I have life insurance for my family. Ethos.com, they make it fast and easy to get covered. It's 100% online. Get a quote in seconds. supplying minutes. You're covered the same day.
Get your free quote at ethos.com/Slater. That's ethos.com/Slater. Paid spokesperson. Time spent on application may vary. Online health questions required. Rates may vary. These statements have not been evaluated by the Food and Drug Administration. This product is not intended to diagnose, treat, cure, or prevent any disease. Do you have a history of those dreadful calcium oxalate stones? Kidney Cop is here to help. Shown in laboratory testing to reduce the rate of calcium oxalate crystal growth by 99%. Yes, 99%. Don't wait. Start taking Kidney Cop Calcium Oxalate Protector today. That's Kidney Cop, C-O-P. Kidney Cop. Order today at Amazon.com, Walmart.com, or KidneyCop.com. That's Amazon, Walmart, or KidneyCop.com.
In our politics lead, tomorrow features a slew of high-profile primaries in New York, including a heavily crowded race to replace retiring Democratic Congressman. Candidates are looking to represent much of Manhattan, including New York's 12th congressional district. CNN's Gloria Pazmino began it.
A political insider,
You know Michael Asher, right for Congress, isn't it, right?
a technocrat facing Silicon Valley opposition,
When we fight, we win.
a former Republican turned Trump critic,
We are facing an existential crisis in the form of Donald Trump.
and a Kennedy scion running on his social media reach.
I will be able to change the political system just by arriving in D.C.
Just some of the candidates in the crowded Democratic primary for New York's 12th congressional district, the race to become the new face of Manhattan. The solid blue district home to some of the most highly educated and politically engaged voters in the nation. And the contest has attracted big names.
Jack, is it good at singing?
Jack Bosworth, son of Carolyn Kennedy and grandson of former President John F. Kennedy, has positioned himself to the left of his rivals, seeking to build a young following online.
The central question in this election is who is going to be able to galvanize the support of young people, the people our party has lost over the last 2 decades, and build a more effective fighting force to take on Donald Trump and MAGA.
Candidates agree on several issues, like abolishing ICE and opposing the war with Iran. George Conway, a former Republican once married to Donald Trump's 2016 campaign manager Kellyanne Conway, is centering his candidacy on opposition to the president.
We can't think so.
While Mamdani is primary candidates, including 2 who are challenging Democratic incumbents, he is publicly staying out of this race.
I'm going to be keeping my vote in this race between myself, the ballot, and that incredible pen that the Board of Elections gives to every voter.
2 candidates with established political roots in the district are hoping that gives them an edge to Tuesday. Assemblyman Michael Asher is a former senior aide to Governor Copo and former Mayor Michael.
The next congressman is both going to push the party to be more effective in fighting against Trump and Mike Johnson and their fellow fascists.
Fellow Assemblyman Alex Boris, a former computer engineer whose efforts to regulate artificial intelligence have triggered millions in spending by Silicon Valley.
I think this district deserves more than establishment or entitlement. It deserves effectiveness.
Outside money and influence have been a major factor in the race. Lasher getting at least $5 million in a boost from Uber, his former boss.
The last time that a New York billionaire tried to steal a 3rd term, Michael Asher was right there to help him do it.
Lasher has also secured the endorsement of outgoing Congressman Jerry Nadler, who is retiring after 17 terms in office. Anderson?
Gloria Pazmino, thanks so much. Up next, we are headed to FIFA fan zone after a historic day at the World Cup. A big moment when Lionel Messi broke the all-time scoring record.
Hi, I'm Venus Williams. Years ago, an autoimmune disease almost ended my career. I wasn't trying to win Wimbledon. I was just trying to get out of bed. I realized my body was starving for nutrients. I needed a way to get real energy back. So, I created Happy Viking. This is a complete meal replacement built on the 30-10 rule. That's 30 grams of plant-based protein for strength and energy, and 10 grams of fiber for total gut health. And it keeps you full longer. It's hypoallergenic, vegan, and packed with over 100 superfoods and nutrients. It's creamy like a milkshake. It feels like a cheat meal that actually fuels you. If you are tired of being tired, go to drinkhappyviking.com. Use code FUEL and save 20% when you subscribe today. That's drinkhappyviking.com. Code FUEL.
Patrick was way behind on his IRS taxes.
I was in way over my head, just over $30,000. That's when I reached out to Optima Tax Relief.
And how'd it go?
I couldn't believe it. I had to ask like 2 or 3 times. I saved an incredible amount of money.
How does Patrick feel about Optima?
Couldn't be happier. Optima Tax Relief. They're the best in the business.
Call Optima Tax Relief for a free consultation. Call 800-613-8836. 800-613-8836. Optima Tax Relief. For details, visit OptimaTaxRelief.com.
At Swish Funding, we fund small businesses like yours from $25,000 up to $2 million with cash in your account in less than 24 hours. If you've been in business for at least 1 year with monthly revenue of $50,000, you can unlock financing with rates as low as 8% and flexible payment terms tailored to your business needs. Apply today at swishfunding.com. That's SWISH funding.com.
You've worked hard for your money. Now let's work hard for you. RJM Group and Company has been helping families grow their wealth for over 30 years, right here in South Florida. Imagine an investment as steady as a CD account, but earning returns from 7% to 20%, guaranteed every month or every year. With contracts from 1 to 5 years, RJM puts you in control. No gambling, no guessing. Just smart, secure growth backed by real estate expertise you can trust. If you've been waiting for the right rate to invest, call RJM Group and Company now at 1-888-775-3002. That's 1-888-775-3002. That's 1-888-775-3002. RJM Group. Trusted,